every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator.
I sure am hungry.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Morning Dinner Podcast. It's your boy, Keem.
And Chuck, what up?
And we host the Morning Dinner Podcast, which is a podcast based out of Las Vegas, where we sit down and have interviews with creatives, entrepreneurs, and hustlers. And today we got Moose the coolest, and if you guys stick around, you're going to find out why we call him Moose. Hey,
what up, Moose?
How's it going, y'all? What's up?
How's your day, bro?
Shoot, it's cool, man. I had to go to sound check earlier, you know what I'm saying? And, now I'm just trying to preserve my voice. Sorry if I have to speak in this, really, chill
that
voice.
Radio voice.
Because I'm trying to preserve it. I got to perform in an hour, so.
Hey, real quick, can we just give it up for that intro, bro? That was priceless. That was good.
That was pretty good. That
was priceless. I fucked it up already.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all sounded like radio professionals.
Yeah,
so real quick, man, can you give the people a quick rundown, like who you are and what you do?
I'm a musician and I'm a DJ. I've been making music for about 13 years of my life, and I started DJing recently, about 5 years ago. Yeah, and yeah, man, I'm as we were talking about earlier, like my 10,000 hours is in audio and music, and that's the one thing I learned as a young kid. I was like, oh wow, this is what I love to do. Music is everything to me. So yeah.
So when you say you put your 10,000 hours in music, you mean from recording to mixing and kind of being an all around audiophile, right?
All encompassing, yeah. I as majority of people, I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to rap and I wanted to sing, and that's where I started as an MC, and then from there I went to I took a concert band class in 6th, 7th grade, in middle school, and I used to live in Hawaii, and they taught us music theory, and that changed the game for me, like Kanye West was like my idol. Was my idol, and he was both. He was an artist and a producer, and I wanted to emulate him. So yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah, that's
it's crazy how you think about it. Back in the day, an artist was either an artist or a producer or an engineer, right? It wasn't like all encompassing. It was kind of like you stay in your lane. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, with the accessibility to technology, now you can be everything. Yeah, and
a lot of it too is people do it out of necessity. Because for me, for example, I needed beats to rap on, and at the time it was like 2007. I was like in 9th grade, you know what I'm saying? And at the time, they were selling beats on SoundCloud. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah,
but
SoundCloud.
It was
we're bringing it back.
You know what I'm saying? It had $2,500 beats, and at the time I didn't really have that much. I didn't have money, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, fuck, I gotta learn how to make my own shit, you know what I'm saying? So and then 13 years later, here we are, you know what I mean?
Nice. So what kind of music? You said rap and singing, right? That's the kind of music that you like to make? So
yeah, I switch it up all the time. My music, I want to describe it as like hip hop, R&B. If it was in Blade Runner 2049, you know what I'm saying? That's how I want to describe it. But yeah, it's influenced by all my, everybody I grew up on. I grew up on Motown and R&B when I was a kid. My mom played a lot of R&B and Motown in the house and soul music, and then infused with all my inspirations like Kanye, Outkast, Pharrell,
classics.
Just really soulful stuff. Shit was Stevie Wonder is like my biggest inspiration too, and all of that infused into one thing, So
let's give it up for how smooth you sound right now, bro.
Yeah, man, you're killing it.
I was gonna say, because you have your own podcast too, right?
I do, yeah.
So let me ask you this question: what, as an artist, because you say you've been making music for 13 years, what made you decide to start your own podcast first of all, and you were like, let's step into that? Was it just your love for audio, period?
That too. That's included with it. I've been listening to podcasts for the last 5-6 years of my life now. It's like the new radio, right? And it's new long form audio, and it's so there's so much freedom in it, with the way we were able to talk about everything we want to talk about, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I listened to, a bunch of podcasts, and I was like, damn, I know I could interview people and talk to my homies and just, just get real psychedelic and get, talk introspective and talk about, astronomy, you know what I'm saying? Not astronomy. I'm not astrological.
You gotta go back. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm not astrological at all. Yeah. But anyway, I love that aspect of it, and I listen to the usuals like Bill Simmons. I listen to Joe Rogan. But I'm just a big fan of the platform. I was like, I need something to for my friends and fellow peers in Las Vegas and all the homies all over the world, you know what I'm saying, for us to be able to speak and chop it up with all this. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Courtside Nosebleeds, just to plug it, is the name of the podcast. Courtside Nosebleeds. I'll have these two on eventually.
Yeah,
soon,
man. And quick thing, just going back, like when you were into producing, I know you Kanye and everything, but were you into the SoundCloud realm at that point?
Yeah, my first year of SoundCloud was 2009, 2010. I think that's when I first opened my account. And that's, I always tell people this, man. SoundCloud is is an era. It still is,
But it's for sure. But it's not the same.
Definitely not the same. Yeah. But there was an era where SoundCloud was everything, and there's this whole, I know it's kind of derogatory, but they call them cloud rappers, you know what I'm saying? Like they came from SoundCloud. That's how they discovered.
Like Sango.
But if you think about it, all the producers, all the R&B artists that we think of, Daniel Caesar. I remember when Get You had like 30,000 plays.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Daniel Caesar's tight. Yeah,
and then like obviously the Soul Action Gang
and
all the producers.
Tory Lanez too?
Tory Lanez. Everybody came from there. Chance came from there. Yeah. Chance the Rapper. You know what I'm saying? So, just think about it. Like SoundCloud is everything. By the way, super sidebar, but like I'm about to hit 1 million plays all time on SoundCloud.
Oh, shit.
I think I'm like projected next week, so I'm excited for that. You know what I'm saying?
That's tight, bro.
I might have to drop something new on SoundCloud. Like a mix of something.
Well, speaking of dropping something new, you just recently dropped a new project called YOUNIVERSE.
Yes.
YOUNIVERSE.
YOUNIVERSE. Yeah.
What was the thought process behind it? Like, why did you decide to make that project specifically?
The album was coming together. I want to say middle 2017. I dropped an EP called City Never Sleeps. Shout out to City Never Sleeps. Shout out to everybody that's on that. And like the whole reasoning behind this is because my hard drive crashed. Like I want to say. Late 2016, so I lost everything I've ever made, pictures, everything. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is, and like it sucks. So I was like, man, I gotta find a new sound. I gotta find a new bounce. And that's the first track on the album. It was just like that was the first song I made. Was like me trying to figure out a new sound, how I wanted to present this new identity that I had, and everything I was going through. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And YOUNIVERSE, that name was actually shout out to my boy Mikey Gaite, Mike at Mikey Connect on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. He did the artwork on the album, but he had a hat that he had dropped, I want to say 2015, 16, and said YOUNIVERSE on it. I was like, oh, that's dope, man. Full circle, it came around. And I was trying to think of a title to like describe this this album that I had just made. I was like, what should this be called? YOUNIVERSE was the name. But anyway, that's and
he actually did the cover for the YOUNIVERSE, right?
Yeah, he shot the artwork.
I saw the behind the scenes poster I posted on.
Really
he murdered that. He murdered that. Yeah.
I actually got to meet Mikey one time at a coffee shop. We were doing like an edit session.
Okay.
That's a nerdy thing that we do in 2019, bro.
Man.
So we just meet up at coffee shops and
squad sessions,
bro. Squad sessions,
like,
exactly.
You got Photoshop, Lightroom on, you know what I mean? No, it's so cool because like that's what the community in Las Vegas is becoming, like the art community, and just like the talent level in Vegas is so amazing right now. Mm-hmm. and I'm loving how everyone's coming together, and like so
I feel like we're at this one point where like we all know it's coming. Whereas like it's about to be like really popping, and we're all like right there, just waiting for it to happen. Right there, we're at the edge of it. You know what I mean? I
always, whenever I have conversations like this with people, I always say like it's all about the quality work and doing making the right moves, making the right relationships. Because at the end of the day, the talent's been here. I want to say. The past generation of MCs and musicians and artists have been here. They've been killing it. At some point, though, there's a time where it transitions to the next generation, and like now this new generation of cats, I mean, a lot of them are transplants, but there's like people are locals too. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean by transplants?
Like they moved from somewhere else to Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I know it was a term. That's tight.
Yeah, that's tight.
I'm a transplant too. You know what I'm saying? I was born in the Philippines, raised in Hawaii, and then I moved to Vegas in high school. So I'm a transplant too. But
how many years have you been in Vegas though?
Since 2006. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I call Vegas.
Basically from Vegas.
I call Vegas home, bro, because like I became a man out here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, there you go.
So definitely, I definitely rep for Vegas, man. But anyway, yeah. So it's on. The time is coming, and it's not like this thing where the industry's gonna start coming to Vegas and like they're gonna start No, it's already here. Like this is the entertainment capital of the world, as far as like multimedia, nightlife, all that. It's here already. already. It's just that a lot of the people in control are people who are outside corporations. You know what I'm saying? Corporations, big, large corporations outside from elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's gonna be a point in time when the people in position of power, people making decisions, will be us. You know what I'm saying? Las Vegas.
Yep. Right.
And that's all I care about, is that you know, us putting everyone in the right position so that we are the ones making the decisions, the ones booking the talent. I
was gonna say, do you ever feel like there's there's things in Vegas that haven't happened yet that you just know are coming, like, you know, like you said, like maybe a major record label based out here, and they, you know, or maybe like a talent agency for artists or something like that hasn't been established yet, but it's because Vegas is so young, you know, the culture of it.
And that's one thing I hope that everyone remembers, is that this city's so young, man. Like a lot of this is just brand new, and like there's this renaissance that's going on. I want to say the last 5-6 years, that's just like you saw it turn.
Because before that, it was just waves of shit, waves of culture. You know, it pick up and then it go back down, and then pick up and go back down. And
you know, we're not gonna disparage any other generation or anything, but at the same time, though, it's like you're not gonna say that we were eager to see this. This is the first time, in my opinion, I'm like, oh wow, I like a lot of this shit. A lot of the music coming out, a lot of the clothes is being designed, a lot of the designers and you know, artwork. You know, the videos out here, dope. You know what I mean? Everyone's kind of like had to grow and
had to level up
into this point now, and it's only gonna be up from here. You know what I mean? So yeah, everyone has to stay patient, stay grinding, keep their head down, and just work. You know, like beefs or social media bullshit, all that shit is whack. You know what I'm saying? It's all about you know, growing within, you know what I'm saying, growing ourselves, and make sure we're all like, you know, amazing plants and trees and it's gonna be a beautiful forest. You know what I'm saying? That's what Vegas is gonna be. You know?
There you go, man.
100%.
I would like to see more trees out here in Vegas, bro.
I mean, that's probably the wrong metaphor, but
more cactuses.
But
I gotta ask you, bro, how did you come up with the name Moose the Coolest?
Oh man, so it's funny because Moose is from 7th grade. When I was in 7th grade in Hawaii, it was the first day of homeroom, and it was like an icebreaker, and we had to pick an animal with the same first letter as our name, as my name. My name is Miguel. Government name is Miguel.
There you go. You guys heard it here first.
And then I didn't want to pick mouse or monkey because my basketball teammates were in the same homeroom, and they were gonna make fun of me if I picked I'm short, so they're gonna call me Mouse. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna make fun of me. So I ended up picking Moose, and you had to make the sound too in front of the class. So I was like, my animal's Moose, and the sound they make is Moose, and my teammates was making fun of me. They ended up making fun of me anyway, and they called me Moose the entire season.
That's a cow, bro.
Exactly. I didn't know what mooses make. Actually, I've never heard a moose say. I've never met a moose. Actually, you know.
How does a moose really sound though?
Have you seen videos of mooses?
Bro, they're huge.
They're huge, and that's the funny thing is the oxymorons. I'm short. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's anyway, so that's it. Came from that, and they called me that the whole entire basketball season. And then the coolest is actually a song by Lupe Fiasco, and Lupe Fiasco is one of my lyrical idols. And
what's one of your favorite projects from Lupe?
Obviously the first two. Food and Liquor and The Cool is like the best.
So
the two of the best hip hop albums of our
you wanna
time.
You wanna know what's crazy? Like I think late. Look, so here's the thing. I don't think he likes lasers very much, and he's been very public about that. But I like that album, man. Like you know, because the thing is like. I think people who originally like your originals, because you know how like Eminem has like his original hit albums, right?
His first 3 albums are the only albums I consider. They'll
never be outdone because they're the classics. The same way with Kanye West, but like there's always something for somebody new. Because if somebody who just started listening to Lupe, you know what I mean? Maybe they might not like his original because they didn't come up on it. Maybe they like the new stuff, you know?
Exactly.
So
yeah, music is all about like the experience, like whatever you're going through. If you like, if you're experiencing whatever you're experiencing in life, and this was your soundtrack to it, you're gonna gravitate to that music regardless. But like, it doesn't mean that's their best work. But you know, maybe you got your first girlfriend to this love song, and this is your favorite song.
I already got an album. I already got a name for your next album.
What is, bro?
Music.
Ooh,
with
It's funny. In high school, somebody wrote an article, like you know how like they write the articles in the yearbook and shit. Yeah. And somebody wrote an article about my musical aspirations, and they said the title was "The Music in Me." It was pretty funny. I was like, I was gonna say
music too, but
that's
I
pretty
was
good
like,
pun.
somebody's probably already said that.
But yeah, that's where the name came from. It was honestly like my MySpace URL. Shout out to MySpace. It was like my AIM thing, and I couldn't change it anymore because Musticals became like this synonymous thing with me. So
shout out to AIM and Yahoo Messenger.
Yeah, bro.
Let's do this, man. Cause bro, that's why I grew up on Yahoo Messenger.
Yeah,
and MSN Messenger.
Oh yeah, AIM was my shit, bro. Like that's
school.
You get home from school. You just seen Shorty. Now you gotta talk to her on AIM. You feel me? You just gotta let her know what's up. You know?
Bro, I was a nerd. I like Toontown, bro.
Okay, what's that?
You never played Toontown, bro?
What's that?
Why am I sound surprised? Like nobody played Toontown.
A lot of people didn't play it. It was like for
online.
babies.
Yeah.
It's a what?
It was a pause. It was an online RPG video game.
Okay.
Basically, it like imagine like World of Warcraft or like one of those games you can pick a character. Okay. Chill. I'm just saying the idea of it. The idea of it. You could pick a character, you design them, and then you walk around and you level up.
Okay.
Essentially, but it's like a cartoon. It was Disneyland.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shout out to Disney.
It was addicting, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like the worst with video games because the only games I like is like 2K and Madden and like.
He's like real man game. Like,
no, it's
so
not.
You don't do
not at all. I mean, literally, that's the only game I'm good at. You know, I love basketball and football, so those are the two games I'm good at. And like any like shooting games, I'm absolutely no hand coordination.
You talking like Call of Duty?
Yeah, I get smashed on Halo. When Halo was lit, like I used like the homies would have me as the fourth player just so they can get kills, bro.
That's fun.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah.
So wait, so you don't do like mobile gaming like on your phone?
You know what's funny? At one point, I was a big fan of the Sims City or something.
City.
Because I like the OG PC, the Sims and Sim City and shit. But that shit got addicting, bro. I was on my city like,
bro. That's what I was
trying to make it lit.
Yeah,
is it like that?
Yeah,
because you trying to make it lit. You're like, oh man, let me buy this tower. Let me make this tower. Nah, it got addicted. I don't like playing games on my phone.
As people who,
sorry kids, I don't have games on my phone.
As people who have that Second Life, have you ever played that?
Oh, I know about that.
Never heard of Second Life? It's basically like kind of like the Sims where you kind of create your own character and you build your whole life.
Yeah,
around it.
I played Sims all day.
They had a bit about that on The Office. I don't know if you guys watched The Office.
The Office,
Dwight had a character on
Second
Life, and then Jim was trying to like stalk him in Second Life, but then Jim got addicted to it.
He's like, "You got a guitar on you?
You got a guitar?"
Nice build.
Shout out to my Office fans. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dunder Mifflin forever.
This is the ultimate Office fan.
Yeah, maybe we can nerd out about it for 15 minutes.
So here's the thing, like with The Office, bro, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I could just pop it at any episode, any day. Like if I got things to do on the computer, whether I'm editing a video or I'm editing photos or whatever, it's playing in the background. You know what I mean? And it's just those sound bites, bro.
It's the best. It's the best. It's one of the best written shows. Definitely one of the best casts in TV history. And that's not just not gassing it because I'm a big fan, but like that's legit true. Like the writing from season 2 to 6, 7 is like some of the best work in television history. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, and like I was having a conversation with a bunch of people about television shows and why we get so addicted to television shows, and what's the value in that over a movie. And I think with television is that we experience a TV like almost weekly if you follow it, the episodes. Or now it's binging it, and you become. It's almost like you become friends with these guys, with the characters. You're like, and like when a show. When you finish binging a show or like, a series ends, like I remember when Breaking Bad ended and everyone was like, oh, what do we have now? Like, but that's because like these are your friends and you develop like this relationship with them.
Because the thing is, it's years. You
invest in a television show. Yeah. And you're like, you get so connected to these characters. That's why you have that feeling after you binge a show is like you have the emptiness. Like what now?
But it's also kind of tight though, because like even kicking it to Game of Thrones, because it's ending, it's coming back for its last half season, I think. And then it's over.
Right.
But I think they're doing spin-off shows because just the same way they did it with Breaking Bad, they do Better Call Saul. And then because the thing is like if a show does well, if a show is selling and it's got an audience, they won't let it just.
They can milk it a little bit.
They can milk it doing spin-offs. They can do a couple of different just a couple of different things. And I think they've already talked about doing like 3 or 4 different spin-off shows for Game of Thrones.
Wow. Yeah.
So
everyone tells me to watch it, and I still haven't watched it. So
you haven't watched it?
Nah,
Me either.
I'm like the worst with hype shit. Or I don't want to consider Game of Thrones hype because I'm assuming it's really the best show.
Oh, it's really
because everyone loves it. But I don't like watching consuming anything that everyone is like.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Maybe I gotta hop on it.
3 years. It's like 3 years. I'll watch that shit.
Yeah.
That's probably when I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
It'll be like one day at home and just be like, let me try it. I know it's good.
I don't know, man.
I'll be 35 years old, and not one day, and it's just gonna be like, let me put on HBO Go. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, because the thing is, the longer you wait, the more prone you are to, like, you know,
Get addicted?
getting spoilers.
Oh,
you know
well,
what I mean?
I feel like I've gotten all the spoilers
And
already.
we forget, you know.
Oh,
I
that's
know
true.
you've told me things and I completely forgot already.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit.
That's true.
Dude,
That's
Twitter,
true.
on Twitter, bro, when Throne Sunday, bro, everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, like, if you haven't seen it yet, everyone's already talking about it on Monday.
Just wait another couple of years, bro, and then
Yeah. I know I'll consume it one day. I know. Everyone's like, but why aren't you watching it? I don't know, just cause. Oh, so you don't like anything good, huh? Is that why you don't watch it? I was like, nah, dude. But anyway, yeah.
Kicking it back to the music.
Yeah.
What would you say is something that you've learned that has helped you become a better artist?
Oh man. You know, as we, when we start creating in any art form and every, any skill that we have, like, we tend to overthink it.
Yeah.
The biggest lesson that I've learned, especially in the process of making this album, was to simplify. And in terms of music, is to not to use as many layers as I usually would. Maybe keep it to three to five instruments.
And what's the reason for?
It's just because you get the message
Addition by subtraction.
You get the message across easier and more, and you get the message across, instead of it being like drowned out by all this unnecessary stuff, you know what I mean? Like, because that's what we sometimes, as producers, any producers out there, they know like what it's like to like overproduce something.
Yeah.
You're like 20 sessions in, and you're like, man, I gotta redo these drums, and that's the worst thing you can do. You have to, like, one thing is the biggest lessons for show is like simplifying and making quick decisions.
Like, don't overthink it at all.
Don't overthink it. Yeah, like, because because
that's the thing about producing. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's the thing. Kind of the thing I would imagine about producing is that it's like a blank canvas.
Mm-hmm.
You can go in any direction for miles.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's endless possibilities. And I would imagine as a producer, I mean, I don't know, because I don't produce, but like I would imagine that'd be a process where you would almost like overthink, and you would also second guess every decision that you make. You know what I mean?
For sure. You start like changing sounds, and that's the worst thing you can do, is because you're gonna stray away from the original emotion that inspired that song. When you first made the beat, when you first wrote that lyric, by editing it and making it like this, of course you're supposed to make drafts. Like, when you're a screenwriter, you make like 50 drafts until you make the movie. You know what I'm saying? But when you do it in music, like, sometimes you kind of like, you get so far away from the original inspiration that whatever you just created, even if you intend to do that, it may not sound as good as the original idea, or whatever the inspiration is. So yeah, definitely, like, that's the biggest lesson I learned, is that to make to simplify and to make quick decisions. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
a great answer, man.
Yeah, and that goes for every skill set, like any trade, bro. Like, I know everyone, like, when you're editing a photo, or you know what I mean, like,
I was gonna say that's kind of one of the reasons that I'm having one of the hardest times, like, finding a quote unquote like style, because like, I don't know, like, if you go on like on a really, really big photographer's page, you'll see a very consistent workflow as far as like what they produce, right? Like, so you go to like one photographer, and it's all neon light shoots, and it's all colored gel shoots, or it's all portraits with the kind of like the same kind of lighting, right? So like, for me, it's like, when it comes down to editing, one of the hardest things for me is like finding out, like, okay, well, which way am I gonna do it? And I feel like I have the hardest times, because every time I take a new photo, nothing's ever the same, and it's always like I want everything to be different. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So how I approach production, because I know I run into that where it's like, damn, this beat sounds like the other 5 beats that I just made this week. But I look at it like, it's waves of inspiration. So like, my style. Oh, well, someone asked me what is your style in making beats? I'm like, honestly, my style in making beats is quality. Like, I want my shit to sound A1 when it hits the speakers. The final version is gonna sound fire. That final test in the car, that car test, is gonna be amazing. However I get to that point, you know what I'm saying, from A to B, anything in between that is gonna be my, like, you know, is gonna be inspired by something, a new sound, a movie I watched, you know what I mean, a producer that I just chopped it up with, or, you know, somebody I met. Like, it's always inspired by everything. But that's my style. I was trying to make the quality shit. I don't have no tags on my beats, you know what I'm saying. I don't have none of that. Whenever I produce for other artists, I don't have that. Honestly, what I want people to know, if it's a Moose production, it's oh yeah, that shit's banging, you know what I'm saying?
That's
how I want it to be.
exactly how I feel about photos, bro. I hate photos with like watermarks on them. You know what I mean? Where they have like that whole exaggerative watermark in the corner. I'm like, bro, take that
or
out.
just
Take
in
that
the
out.
center. It's their name.
Let me ask you this. I mean, isn't that kind of like why the reason they put watermarks is because of, like, for financial reasons? Like, you don't want to give them the final version until they maybe sent the invoice or something, or what do you think?
Well, no, there's either, because the thing is, like, if I sent proofs, which is like just basically all the images unedited, I will put PROOF over it in a huge watermark.
Oh, right.
That way I know they're not gonna post it, because no one's gonna post that shit, right?
Right.
But a lot of people just put watermarks. They do it because they don't want to get their work stolen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, if someone's gonna steal it, they're gonna steal it. Like, we live in an age where I can remove a watermark from an image if I really wanted to, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or
Like,
just crop it out.
Yeah.
Like, you know how, like, they
can just
videos,
crop it out, or
like,
if they're really savvy, they can just take your photo into Photoshop and just clone stamp it out. Like, there's always a way to remove watermarks.
That's some next level stuff.
Oh, damn, that's some next level shit right there.
Yeah, bro. People do it. But I'm saying, like if you're gonna be comfortable with your work, like, I feel like a photograph should just be a photograph. Don't add text elements to it, because then you're making it like almost like a, hey, look at this kind of thing. Yeah. And it should be kind of like, let people observe it on their own. You know what I mean?
Right.
And plus, there's always metadata. You can always tag your images with metadata. So like, if I release an image for download, no matter who has it, unless they like screenshot it or something, you know, the metadata would always be there, and I'll hold the copyright to it. Okay. So in my camera, when I take a photo and I have that raw negative file, like that raw image, it's got my name burned into it.
Word.
You know, so if someone steals a raw, they can't change it. It's there because my camera created it.
Yeah.
I could be ignorant. There could maybe be a way to change that too.
Oh, you can change the metadata.
But I'm saying in post.
What do you mean in post?
Like in Lightroom or something?
Oh no. There's like a,
because I've never done it.
There's an app you can change like the metadata of things, because I had to do it.
Well, but can you do that to the, like, you could probably do that to JPEG. What about the raw file?
Yeah, you could do it to anything. If you have the file,
people getting savvy, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Honestly, I look at Instagram and, you know, all these like regurgitation of like memes and videos and stuff, and it's kind of sad, because, like, you know, like it fucks up the creator, you know. Like, I don't know if you guys ever see that on YouTube, where like you search a song and there's like 15 videos of that song. And I mean, I know now that's better laws as far as like I think you can still get paid off those videos. But for a long time before that, you know, you like I remember I had a song called Young and Dumb that I released in 2011. It was like, you know, during the Tumblr days. I was kind of lit on Tumblr. Anyway, and like Tumblr, and it blew up on Tumblr. And then someone reposted it on the song on YouTube, and like, you know, I released a music video on it. And then I looked up on the video on YouTube. That song had like 500, 800,000 plays on that, and my song only had like 12, 13,000 plays. I was like, dude, that's crazy. You know, like, you know, obviously at the time it was monetized too. It's like, damn, it kind of it sucks that's where content creation is going. Is like these curators are like,
that's the thing, bro,
stealing content from other people. Yeah, you guys know about the whole fuck Jerry thing that's going on?
Yeah, bro, I was just about to talk about
that.
I was just about to talk that, how basically, like, if people don't know who @fuckjerry is, it's a media company, right? Yeah. And they take the most popular like memes or whatever they can find on the internet, and they repost it. But the thing is, they make money off of that stuff. Yeah. And they don't credit the original creator. It almost goes back to
back then they didn't. Now they do, but that's after they got in trouble for it.
Yeah, right. Because I remember Fat Jewish used to do that too. Yep. He got in trouble.
for that too. And but here's my thing about the whole fuck Jerry situation is that it's so crazy that this guy, they were the media company behind the Fire Festival. Yep. And then
you watched the documentary?
I didn't. I don't fuck with that shit. It was such a dumb thing. I guess I should watch it too.
Yeah, bro.
But
I haven't watched it. But here's the thing. Fuck Jerry is also the people behind that Netflix documentary.
Yeah, which doesn't really make sense to me, because you know, if you watch the actual documentary, bro, like it talks so much shit about the entire festival because it's like these people did not know what they were doing. Right. So it makes you wonder, like, what is the intention behind it,
I think it's kind of obvious, right? It's like they were the people behind it. They created a story, and now they're the ones that are reaping the benefits of this crazy story. You know what I mean? But
even still, like,
but I'm not gonna. That's like conspiracy shit.
When they say they created it, like. They created the entire festival, or did they create the promotional parts?
They were the marketing. They're a marketing company, right? Yeah. Now Fuck Jerry's a marketing branding company, and they were hired to do that. I don't know the exact details, but I'm assuming that they were the company that got hired.
Finding Kendall Jenner and all that.
Yeah, because the Fire Festival promotion was kind of lit. You know what I'm saying?
No, it was really good.
Yeah.
It even impressed me. I was like, damn.
Yeah, and leading up to the whole festival, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like it's so fake, bro. Like
it just goes to show you how far social media can take things.
It did.
You know how big something can blow up before you realize, oh, there's nothing really happening here.
Yeah, it's so crazy how now it's so commercialized. It's corporations finally discover how to monetize the internet.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like a 10-15 year process for that. Same thing in music. Like, I don't know, y'all remember LimeWire, the LimeWire days, Kazaa days, and like Napster days, right? Like that's how music was consumed by us, like our generation, and like the music industry was losing their minds because they were no longer making making money off their CDs and their sales. It took them like 10-15 years to finally get the industry back, take control of it. Now, like the only way we listen to music is Apple,
Streaming.
Spotify. It takes corporations a while, you know, like sometimes us, the people figure out how to get around it, and then the corporations like, oh, turn that faucet off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes them a while, but you know.
I think the next generation of because you know how we went from that LimeWire to Spotify phase, that was step one. I think step two is gonna be holding accountability and holding that. Like if you put out a song and whoever rips it and reposts it, you still get the credit for it. That's gonna be that next step. That keeping, and I think Bitcoin's gonna be part of that.
What do you mean?
Bitcoin? Well, I'm just saying, like, not necessarily Bitcoin, but blockchain technology.
Crypto stuff?
Blockchain technology.
Okay.
How you can essentially, and there's going to be, because there's going to be so much competition coming in the next 5-10 years, bro, where you can essentially, like, upload, like, let's just say, what's a company that you use to put your music on iTunes?
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, like to download stuff?
Yeah.
Like LimeWire? Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, I'm saying like because I know that there's companies out there that you can submit your music to, and then they'll post it on iTunes. Or they'll post it on.
I still use DistroKid. That's what I use for this last.
Okay, so imagine a company like that. They can now tag your music on the blockchain. So no matter if somebody downloads it, somebody rips it, that metadata is still there, and there's no way you can get rid of it. And if somebody reposts it and they get 300,000 plays, that still goes to you.
No matter what.
I think that's where publishing comes in. So like BMI and ASCAP, you're supposed to submit your music.
BMI is getting involved in the blockchain company
because that's how they, using the ISRC code that the song, your song has. That's the metadata you're talking about. That's the equivalent of that in music, where like if it gets used in like a YouTube video, they have those now too. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man.
So it can like scan it though. Yeah, everything. Okay, got it.
Yeah, man. That's how labels scan like Shazam stuff, or just because like the wave matching the wave file, or
if you pitch it up, you can kind of
get away with stuff.
Unless the person, like somebody personally finds it and sends in a copyright.
And I'm assuming that the big three major labels, they have like an office of interns of like 15 people just scanning YouTube, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, But anyway.
I think the future's gonna be really lit for stuff like that.
I'm for sure excited about the future, but I do want to express to people like this reliance on technology is kind of scary, man. Because I know that at some point people are gonna be putting their whole life, on technology. And if you've ever watched Black Mirror, you know what's gonna happen. Technology fails, man. And also, what's it called? Like humanity, the way it manipulates and gets around it is going to affect the technology. So, hopefully people, not necessarily like don't use technology, but like don't put your whole life in as, reliant on it, Well, this is coming from somebody who like my whole career is based on technology. I was
going to say, so you as somebody who's like a public artist, what is something that you're either scared of or not looking forward to with the increasing of technology getting bigger?
Actually, I don't have any fears as far as like art. It's kind of more just like I look at people's like autonomous vehicles.
Yeah.
Like that's like the conspiracy when you're high at like 3 a.m. you start thinking about shit. You're like, oh, what the fuck is, but like just the autonomy, like autonomous helicopters or
right.
Yeah, I don't know, it's gonna be wild to see where it goes, but I'm excited about the future. That's what I love to see.
I don't know, man. I think smart cars are going to be the future. Like I think they're going to be a good thing because if you think about accidents on the road, like people commit more errors than anything. You know what I mean? So it's always it's man-made. So even if you do have a car that crashes, which is like kind of like it's kind of stupid to say that, like, if a car, artificial intelligence car crashes into another one and it's out of your control, there's nothing you could have done. That's a wrongful death. But what if you can minimize that to like 1% as opposed to 50% crashes now?
Yeah, and that's what the point of it, right? Of autonomous vehicles.
Yeah.
But like you guys know when you have to restart your computer because it's fucking up.
Yeah.
What if you're moving 80 miles per hour? You know what I'm saying? and you're just fucking up. You know what I'm saying? What's gonna happen?
Yeah,
but anyway,
true, man.
But knock on wood that it doesn't happen to anybody. But I definitely want a Tesla one day. That's a dream car right there.
Yeah, same here, man.
Yeah.
Because like I seen a video, that shit like blew my mind. Like, so like it hit the wall, which was its fault, but at the same time, if somebody would have hit the wall the same as the Tesla, they would have fishtailed and fucking spun out.
Did something
that
worse
shit
than that.
Fucking corrected itself perfectly. Like
really?
It tapped the wall and it went boop boop.
Yeah.
So like really quick and like.
Bro, I used to have this Subaru that remember that Subaru I had?
Yeah.
If I got too close to a car, it'll force
break
brake.
for you.
And I'm not gonna be honest, that shit kind of did save our life one time, bro. We're on a road trip to California, and my dad wasn't looking. He was driving my Subaru, and it was like bumper to bumper traffic, and we're going like 45, 50, but the car was able to stop itself.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah. Shout out to this next level shit, man. Shout out to Elon Musk. I saw a picture of the Roadster, bro. The new ones that are gonna come out. That
0 to 60 in like 1.5 seconds.
That's just beautiful.
1.9.
It's so sleek and beautiful. I'm not a big car guy, but I used to love cars when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, now I saw that, I was like, damn, it's sexy, bro. It looks like a.
I can't lie. Have you been in a Tesla yet?
I have not.
I went into one finally. Bro,
looks
they're
crazy.
So fast, it's not even funny.
Really?
Like,
And then they don't make any sound.
Even the like entry level joint.
We were in what are the ones that cost like 120,000?
Oh, okay,
with the doors that go up like Lamborghinis.
okay. That's fast.
Bro, it's so fast.
That
you
looks
rich?
Huh?
Oh, you rich?
Oh no, not me.
Oh, you rich?
Oh, you rich?
I wish, dog. I was like, bro, if I had money.
But those are fast, though?
Yeah. Bro, like, because it's like something with like the torque. It's different than a regular engine, so it doesn't have to like do all this stuff for it to start. Yeah. So its torque is like crazy.
I saw a Casey Neistat video about one of the Model S's, or I think the entry level one, and how he explained it was that it doesn't have to rev up. It just goes from that to 30 miles per hour.
Right there, instead of like explosions happening.
Yeah, like where you
however engines fucking work.
Yeah, shout out to these geniuses who think of this shit, bro.
Shout out to that flamethrower he did.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
It never made it.
What is
a commercial?
What is Random Company? Is that what it's called?
Boring Company.
Boring Company.
Yeah.
That's even tight.
Shout out to Elon Musk, man, for real.
Shout out to him smoking weed on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Exactly.
Up his career.
Even though I'll say it sucked that his company lost like money in in stocks or something.
Bro, they had to let go a lot of people.
Yeah. Because of that.
Even here in the Las Vegas location, I have a buddy who works there. His name is Jesus, and he was telling me like, yeah, bro, they just laid off a bunch of people. I was like, oh damn. Do you
think in reaction because of what happened to that?
I don't know, man. It could be all connected because if you think about how big the Joe Rogan podcast is, you know what I mean. Like people think, it's just a radio show. No. Like, they're the biggest company. I think there was 40 to 60,000 people watching live, and when it was airing at 9 p.m. on like a Tuesday or Wednesday.
And when
the
news gets a hold of it, that's millions of people.
Well, that's the thing is when you make it a meme and it becomes a viral meme the next day, like it's out of your control. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
So,
but anyway,
I'm one of the lucky few that got to witness it live.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
The Joe Rogan.
Oh, when he smoked it.
When he was smoking it, I was watching it. I was like, ooh.
Does he record at a specific time or? Because I feel like I never catch it live.
He usually goes live on the weekdays.
Okay.
Right around like 12 or 1 p.m. And he'll do like a 2-3 hours. So by like 2-3 p.m. he'll be wrapped up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just hear it on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, bro. Their podcast is so next level that they record the whole show live, right? So that they're not even. I don't even think they're doing any post. And the thing is, the cool thing is that they're actually making snippets. They're making like small videos.
Yeah.
So like if they just talked about artificial intelligence for like 15 minutes,
it's so genius, bro.
As soon as they're done talking about it and they move on to the next topic, that video is already uploaded to YouTube.
Wow.
With the thumbnail and everything. I'm like, bro, they got a whole team back there.
Smart.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Jamie, can you pull up the?
Bro, you do know he has his own website, right?
Who?
With Jamie.
He does.
He has his own website with his own merch. That's like,
oh, nice.
Jamie, pull that up real quick.
Young Jamie.
Bro, he's a whole
Is it
brand.
Young Jamie?
Yeah.
Young Jamie. Yeah.
That's funny.
He made his whole brand out of being.
It's like George on Tiger Belly.
Oh, I love Tiger Belly too.
Yeah, it's just so good.
I just got put on, yo.
Bro,
Shout out to Bobby Lee. That's my guy, bro.
Because it was funny because we always talk about like, oh, should we be crazy and like sporadic like him? And I was like, fuck, dude. The only thing is they're comedians, so that's kind of like their thing.
That's their thing.
And Bobby Lee is known for doing or saying the craziest shit. You know what I mean?
Absurd shit.
So you kind of
taking his clothes off. Like I was just now that I like a lot of Tiger Belly clips come up on my YouTube recommendations. I've been getting a lot of MADtv clips from back in the day, and I totally forgot how crazy Bobby Lee used to be, man.
Yo, can we just talk about how MADtv was, I feel, more influential to my life than SNL.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what it was, bro, but for that period of time, from like seasons 1 to like 4 or 5, I feel like that was some of the greatest TV I've ever seen.
It's so funny because like, you know, I think SNL obviously is the pinnacle of sketch comedy and shit, but like I never got into SNL. Like you know, a lot of comedians, that's their thing. They love SNL, but to me, I never got into it because I thought the comedy was kind of dry. Yeah, and MADtv was more like of a comedy that I liked when I was a kid, you know what I mean?
Especially the older ones for sure.
Yeah. Well, and also let me just say this: Saturday Night Live was at night, right? So as most people are out on a Saturday night, they're not staying in.
That's true.
I mean, I'm just speaking from personal.
I never thought of that.
I'm just saying, like,
but wasn't MADtv at the same time too?
No, what I'm saying, like, the only time I ever watched MADtv was Saturday mornings. Because I remember it would come up like on my Saturday morning, because we all had
because it was a syndication or something.
Yeah. Okay, so like right around like 8, 9, 10, you would watch MADtv. So I don't know if that could have been.
That's true. Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. But honestly, man, I see SNL skits now, and it really depends on the writing. Like, cause honestly, sometimes you'll see a really good sketch, but you think about like how many sketches they have to do. Obviously, the quality is not gonna be good for all 13 sketches that made.
It's hard, man. Comedy's hard.
Comedy's hard. I love comedy, and like I definitely respect how hard it is to make something really great.
That's why Key and Peele, they're the greatest.
Genius,
man.
Bro. And honestly, Chappelle's my idol, bro. Growing up on Chappelle's show and his stand up, like he's a genius to me. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, definitely, you know, it's an art form to make it look easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In anything, but yeah, shout out to comedians, man, for real. I love comedy, man.
Comedy's my thing, bro. I love comedy.
I'll take a good comedy over any horror movie, bro.
I gotta ask you, what's your favorite Key and Peele sketch? A sketch? I just said sketch. Damn.
Young sketch.
Dude, that's hard, bro. You know what's funny? I'm not gonna name one because it's hard.
I know which one mine is.
Okay, you want to tell the story?
Mine's the burn victim one.
Oh, which was that one?
The burn victim, bro. Oh my god.
It's funny because I showed some coworkers, bro. They were dying.
Yeah.
Well, when you showed me, we used to work together at this company, bro. I swear to God, we almost both got fired that day because we couldn't stop laughing. Yeah, have you ever had those moments where like something just makes you laugh, and for some reason you can't stop?
And you know when you're told not to laugh,
it makes you laugh more.
Like, no, it's funnier. Honestly, when you're with your homie and you're out laughing, it's your homie laughing that makes you laugh, and then y'all make each other laugh because of that. I
can't tell you how many times we've been at a drive-through, bro, like at the Taco Bell or something, and I'll just start cracking up.
And then I'll start laughing.
And then he'll try to talk to the lady at the drive-thru, and I'm over here just like trying to look out the window and not trying to look at what he's doing.
Fucking dying for no reason. I'm like, and that shit makes me laugh, bro. Because I'm like, why?
Well, I'm thinking about Key and Peele sketches, right? sketches.
There you go.
Shit.
It's in my mind. Freudian little slip right there. But the sketch that I was just watching was about, it was called non-horror movie or non-scary movie or some shit. Like,
Oh yeah, they're like, oh yeah, man,
that movie wasn't scary.
bro.
And then they were talking about like, oh, how he came out of the puddle, and like that wasn't scary. And then like avoid the
And
puddle.
they skipped the puddle, like they jumped over.
Nah, it's so funny, man. Key Peele's so genius, man. I gotta watch that on Hulu again, bro.
Something with their deliverance too. Like
They're great actors.
Delivery is like
they're
no
great
joke.
actors, yeah. Keegan-Michael Key especially, and I love that Jordan Peele has branched out into being such
Director?
a filmmaker because you could tell he was
fucking good too.
He was the guy that was kind of like, I know he delved into directing during the Key and Peele stuff era, but like yeah, like you could tell like Keegan is such a great actor and how he delivers shit, and then Jordan is like, you know, the
brains.
the brains, yeah.
Are you looking forward to that new movie coming out?
Oh, for sure. I love. Yo, they killed that trailer, bro.
Yo.
Whoever remixed that shit, shout out to you, bro.
I never imagined that song being used for that genre. I was like, what? That's what I like, bro.
That's
When you get something that you've been used to your whole life hearing it a certain way, and then they flip it.
Yeah,
And I love his
movie.
movie style too.
Yeah, Get Out is
dope.
so genius, bro. I love that movie. I think, and I'm not a big horror movie fan, but I definitely enjoyed that experience in the movie theater, watching it with everyone, and the whole theater just going nuts. And like, not everyone can accomplish that, you know what I'm saying? And I think the horror genre can do that if it's done right. And you know, the way he was touching on like social commentary on that movie, he was able to really get, like, you know, shout out to Get Out. Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I used to love going to theaters for movies. I don't think I can do it anymore unless I really want to see that movie. Because heck, people, man, sometimes they're either like laughing too much, or they're joking, or they're talking too much during the movie.
Yeah.
I hate that, bro. I'm getting to that age in my life where I'm like, yo, bro, chill.
Yeah.
I know you guys are on a date. You were trying to be funny, but I'm trying to watch this movie real quick. You know what I mean?
Well, when they do it in the wrong times, because I'm not gonna lie, I try to be the funny motherfucker, but I do it tastefully. I don't do it like annoyingly.
Yeah.
I'll drop it when there's like a lull in the scene, and like, you know, especially like in Avengers, like, you know, you just start making fun of something, you start roasting something. But I do it just to get a laugh out of my section. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that annoying guy.
I think I heard somebody like be like, "Oh, he did."
Oh yeah,
like stuff like that. Like,
that shit makes it's little shit like that.
That's cool.
It's like little slight jokes, you know, because, you know, everyone's trying to get that one laugh.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's when you do it tastefully, you know. So don't be that
There you
motherfucker in the movie theater, dog.
do it tastefully.
Do it tastefully, yeah. You know?
I gotta ask.
Yeah.
How would you? Because we got sidetracked again.
Yeah, super sidetracked.
How would you describe your style of music to somebody who's never heard it before?
So I was saying earlier, I kind of described it as like hip hop R&B fusion. If it was in the Blade Runner 2049, that's how I pictured.
Yeah.
Like,
But if it was a cereal, what flavor would it be?
see,
I'm trying to, you know.
man.
You can mix the cereals too, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is
Captain
tough.
Cocoa Puff Crispy.
If that's too hard, let's just say this: you're playing your album right now.
Mhm.
Your universe.
What you eating?
What you eating? What flavor?
Oh, you
cereal?
know what? Honestly, bro, my shit's just is classic. It's Frosted Flakes, bro. Like it's just some fly shit. You put some milk in it, and the way it soaks into the milk, it's a great combo, you know. So
Can we explain that to the people? Classic. The word classic. When you call like a song classic, what does that like mean to you guys? What do you feel about that?
Well, for me, as a I don't know if it.
Like it.
I don't want to sound pretentious. I don't want to sound pretentious at all, but.
I do. I'll say like handmade kind of. Is that what you mean? Like something that doesn't sound too generic. It sounds not following the trend.
You know what it is? It's like when you can picture something 5 years from now.
It's timeless.
And it's timeless. That's why I consider it classic. I don't throw that word around as you know, like on anything like, oh, this album just came out yesterday and it's a classic. Nah.
Right.
No, but the fact is though that you have to picture a piece of work, an art form or art, you know, anything, and like you can picture it that you'll still enjoy that shit in a year, which you can't predict obviously, but you know, it's like that's what I think what makes classic timeless work is that it's something that stands the test of time. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%.
And that could be critiqued by a lot of people, and everyone has a different opinion, but there's one, you know, like the common thing is how great it is. You know what I'm saying? Right. Or they have there's elements of it that everyone everyone is in agreement. Like, yo, this type of thing is crazy, you know?
Right.
Like if you guys listen to Kendrick Lamar, Damn, right? That just came out 2 years ago. Now 2 years ago. But when you're listening to it, you're like, dude, I know 10 years from now, I'm going to listen to this shit and I'm still going to be amazed at how he was able to accomplish this, you know? Or like, I think his best album is Good Kid, Mad City. I think a lot of people will agree.
I gave a physical copy to a friend. I wouldn't even say like a friend. Like he's someone that I met through a job that I was working at. He's a much older gentleman, like in his fifth. Remember when we were doing that PA job for Las Vegas? Bro? Yeah. Well, so I gave it to him, bro.
Was he a hip hop fan or?
I wasn't even sure. I just gave him the CD because I was like, bro, I just this is a dope CD I like, and he wanted to find some new music. Yeah. He got a text like, hey man, when I get $1 million, I'm gonna cut you a check because you just put me onto some shit that I needed right now. He's like, I needed this. Yeah. I was like, damn.
And I think a lot of people will agree that when they were experiencing Good Kid, Mad City, like want to say that 6-7 months into that, you knew you were experiencing something that was like, oh wow, this is next level, bro.
The whole world's listening right now.
Kendrick so much, even Section. All those,
Section, bro. My first project I ever heard was Overly Dedicated, and even at the time, and I was like, "What the fuck am I listening to? This guy's he's changing his voice like that, like." And you could hear his influences. You could tell he listened to quality shit when he was growing up. You know what I mean? Like his parents was playing some dope shit in the crib. That's one thing too. You notice is like you can see the inspirations that an artist make, not just in music, but like anything. You can see the inspirations and how they were able to like make it their own. That's what makes something classic and timeless to me, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Damn, that was real.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, I gotta ask you, do you feel there's any, either about your music or just the genre period of hip hop, do you feel there's any misconceptions about your music or the genre that you would like to set the record straight on?
You know, I want to say I make my music pretty like transparent, like from when you hear it, like that's exactly what it is. I guess just I don't know if there's any misconceptions on my music, but as far as like hip hop or anything, I think the only misconception that I see on hip hop and R&B, I guess, is that a lot of people outside, people who aren't fans of those genres, they still have like a very outdated view of it, you know, or like a very like narrow view of it. When if you think about it, hip hop is the most all-encompassing genre ever, you know what I mean? How it was able to
from everything. It
literally the beginning of hip hop is sampling, you know what I mean? How they were how like, you know, they didn't know how to play instruments, and they were just looping the same two records back and forth, and taking from different records and break beats and different instruments, and like it's all encompassing, and like it's the most personal too, you know what I mean? Like you kind of can tell like from a lot of the ballads and timeless songs, it's all about love songs, you know, it's all about love or heartbreak. For sure. Hip hop talks about everything, bro. It talks about every genre, and I think that's the one biggest misconception, especially too if you think about it in like in nightlife, in the nightlife industry, you know, they kind of try to stray away from hip hop because they have a narrow view of it, of like, this is the crowd they bring and we don't want that type of crowd in our venue. But when you think about it, a lot of the coolest, most dope people come to these events because we don't have enough of that. We don't have enough hip hop in Las Vegas Boulevard, you know what I mean? But anyway, I think that's the biggest misconception of that genre, is just that a lot of people outside of it, or people who don't really listen to it, don't have like a very like honest a view of what's going on.
Too
and like
narrow-minded.
Now, like you see all these artists, there's so many artists, and like the new generation now, it's like a mix of all these different genres. Like, you know, you can say, in my opinion, SZA is one of the dopest MCs, and like she's a singer, you know what I'm saying? But like her style is so fluid and like it's so unique, and like she's talking about her life, you know what I'm saying? And that's what, to me, what makes a great lyricist, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of getting on a tangent.
Yeah, no worries, man. You were kind of touching bases on how hip hop kind of takes from all their genres and all that stuff. How do you feel about, did you hear about that situation with Soulja Boy and Drake?
What happened?
How apparently Drake stole that from that Miss Me song, tell me what's really going on. What's happening? Like that was a Soulja Boy. He took that entire part.
I forgot who's. I'm not gonna talk about Soulja Boy, but there's a great quote about art. It's like the greatest art is still.
Yo,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
no,
Like,
the quote is.
Oh, what is the quote?
The quote is. Good artist copy. Great artist steal.
Yeah.
Right. It's where you could take something and give it completely new meaning.
Make it your own.
You make it your own.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's no shame in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can always name your inspirations later on. You know. But
well, Chuck has an opinion on Soulja Boy, right? You.
To be honest,
Because you were telling me.
really.
No, you were telling me that you were like, yo, dude, I don't care what you say about Soulja Boy, say about his music, whatever. But he kind of innovates.
He did innovate a lot.
He was a
you
big
know what I mean?
innovator.
He brings that new style of dance and like, you know,
it's kind of like Kanye. You know, like a lot of people will hate, but the man innovates a lot, and he, especially back in the day, like he did a lot, and even still now, like his influence.
Well, Kanye is
powerful.
the most influential artist of his generation.
Yeah.
I don't want to put Soulja Boy and him in the same boat.
No, definitely
but,
not.
Yeah, but Soulja had a lot of innovations as far as his generation
That
because
ringtone.
I mean he was able to utilize MySpace and internet social media branding early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he reached mainstream like success off that. Not a lot of artists were doing that at the time, and you know you could say that he was one of the first. So. But anyway, like, yeah, like as far as that, everyone gets their inspiration from something else.
Right.
You know, I don't know if it's James Taylor or somebody, I forgot who. It was like a great folk singer or a great singer from back in the day. And he said, like, honestly, a lot of my best songs were made by learning the chords to something and making it my own.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? They'll never know that they copied it. But basically that's what it is.
That whole, was it,
No idea is a new idea. That's what I believe in too. It's
What's
just
that?
like
What was that?
No idea is a new idea?
Yeah, no idea of yours is a new one. You know what I mean? It's already been thought of.
Everything
it's already
has
been done.
yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
It's just you don't know about it.
I'm kicking myself in the head right now because I can't remember what his name. The engineer for Michael Jackson,
Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
Bro, I was kicking myself in the head. Like I'm like, this is one of my favorite engineers in the world, bro. I was like,
Legend.
why can I not remember his name? He
We couldn't think
I
of
said Common.
He said Common.
On the last episode, we had Jasmine up in here, and we were talking about podcasts, and then I told her if she had heard about that. I was like, "What's that podcast with that angry rapper?" And we're trying to remember what his name was. I was like, Common.
And that's funny. They do look alike. They bald, light skin, without a beard.
I just couldn't remember.
Yo, Joe Budden's podcast was dope.
Yeah,
I heard he's hilarious.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I just got into it, but I'm kind of salty that it's Spotify exclusive now because I'm Apple. So, like,
dude, I was too for the longest time.
But it's YouTube, right? It's YouTube. Oh, you're Spotify now?
Yeah.
Word.
I'm telling you, bro. Spotify.
I know.
Wait, you guys heard what he told me? Spotify just bought out Anchor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Have you heard of Anchor?
Are they a podcast?
Anchor.fm?
That's what we use.
Yeah. Do you use Anchor for your podcast, or do you use something else?
I use this thing
Libsyn.
called Podbean.
Podbean. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's services like Podbean, Libsyn, where you can just upload
distribute.
It's
a distributor. Yeah.
But Anchor.fm is super easy, bro, and it auto publishes to all the major streaming.
Well, with Spotify buying them, does that mean it becomes exclusive?
I don't know.
That's why I'm scared of the iTunes
It just got
thing
announced
when he said
today.
that.
It just got announced today, and all of our stuff is on Anchor.fm. So I'm wondering, like, okay, so Spotify bought them. Why would Spotify let you upload to iTunes?
Hopefully,
Apple
it's
Podcasts,
just a
you know what I mean?
business move. They just want more money, and they know like that's a market that they can.
Maybe they're just trying to take in that distribution arm and making it like part of theirs. But hopefully, there's no exclusivity deals because I know that's what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to take a lot of getting a lot of podcasters in exclusive deals, which is what the whole Biden podcast came in.
So here's the thing, though. Like I've heard Joe Rogan talk about this, and he said that he would never put his podcast on Spotify because of how they pay out.
Oh yeah,
how it's almost like next to nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like
in music too, they're one of the lowest paying payouts for sure.
So I don't know what's gonna happen. What's gonna be the move there? Like,
well,
title.
Good luck to everyone on Anchor. Good luck to everybody on Anchor.
We gonna have to switch. Just kidding.
No, we ain't switching Anchor.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We got completely sidetracked. I was talking about Quincy Jones.
We're so sidetracked, bro.
Quincy Jones. All right, so I was watching this documentary on Quincy Jones, bro.
Yeah.
And he was saying, I forgot where I was going with this, bro.
Oh man.
What were we talking about?
Something about a new idea is not a new idea.
New idea. Okay, he was saying how there's only like four notes or 4 chords or 8 notes, or there was only a certain amount of musical notes that you could possibly play.
Yeah.
And look at all the music that we've been able to create from those 4 or 8 or whatever.
There's a very popular chord progression, a 4 chord progression. I think it's 1, 2, 4, 5 or something like that. And the most important songs of all time all have that same chord progression. And just to piggyback off that, like in music in general, like, you know, because music is numbers, you know what I'm saying? Like the chord combinations, the notations are all numerical, and there's only certain combinations that work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, it's pretty expensive when you get deep into music theory with all the different types of scales and shit. But like, there's only so many combinations you could do.
We were talking about this. How like, if you're like a new artist that you're like creating your own style that's never been heard before, it probably sounds like that transcendental, like, you know, weird soundscape music where it's like you got trash cans banging each other or whatever. Like, it's like, it just doesn't sound like music, right? Because music has a sound to it.
But you know, for anyone that's just getting into it or that wants to create a unique style for themselves, the only thing you can do is be yourself. Like you take every inspiration in your life, every artist that you're bumping or your favorite artist, but you make it your own. So whatever that is, that's you. You know what I'm saying? Like if it ends up kind of sounding like somebody, cool. But make it unique, you know what I'm saying? Make it you, like, for real. Yeah. Like there's, you know, like in graphic design, I'm sure like it's so easy to look like another graphic designer, you know what I mean? And there's always something you can do to make it your own, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
follow your style.
100%. Is there an artist that you want to collaborate with that you haven't gotten the chance to?
There's so many artists I want to but I guess as far as in Las Vegas, I do want to be able to work with you know, all the R&B artists out here. I want to corner that R&B market, man, for real. There's a lot of great singers in Vegas, and I believe that they all, you know, all of them are really taunted, and they all deserve the best production. So, you know, hit me up, man. Holla at Moose, man. If y'all need that, you know, that dope production, you know, to get people in their feels, all that soulful shit, you know.
There you go, man. And hold on, real quick. Do you write all your music, right?
Yes, sir.
So do you ever write choruses for singers, or do you see yourself that being an avenue?
Yeah, I've done songwriting work too, and especially like in features that collaborations I've done in the past, I usually write the song for them.
Okay.
Their part or stuff, yeah.
Nice.
Now I you know, I love every aspect of music, man, from songwriting, the production, the engineering side as well. Shout out to Dawson, that's gang right there.
It's
you know,
super dope, man.
I know y'all had him here, you know. And like, you know, just there's every aspect of from mixing, mastering, and now to the whole business side of it, like, you know, like you know, the branding side, I'm just getting into that too, and it's so crazy how there's so much to learn, man. It's so much dope shit.
Did you ever release that Daniel Caesar remix?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, I was.
Oh, it's all on SoundCloud. It's all on SoundCloud. Yeah.
I remember when you were playing that shit out. I was like,
at Commonwealth.
I was like, damn, this shit's so tight. I was like, I know this fool remixed it.
Yeah, man.
I gotta peep that.
Yeah, you know, that's what I think I like about SoundCloud is that I was able to like do all my edits there, you know, so I can do my production flex on there, you know what I mean? Because you can't post that shit on everything, but you know, at least for people who listen to SoundCloud, I think the greatest thing about SoundCloud is how it's able to empower the creators, you know what I mean? Like all these producers, all the best edits. If you're a DJ right now, you better be on SoundCloud.
You can't find that on Spotify
or whatever distribution site. You know, there's a lot of DJ like libraries that you can subscribe to, whatever record pools and stuff. But you may not find them.
Does SoundCloud have like a tagging, like flagging for samples or things like that?
Yeah,
they do. But
are they hardcore with it like YouTube? Where
not as much as they used to be.
Okay.
But I mean, you can still get caught. But you can't, like, you gotta flip that remix. You gotta make that joint yours. You know. So that definitely it doesn't capture it on.
It sucks because like M Phases and all these like top dudes that I listen to, you know, like Esta and all of them, like, a lot of them, like they had to take down some of their good shit. But you go on Bandcamp, that's where you go to find their remixes.
That's where I have my my remix compilation at, where you can kind of just like, you know, if you want to make a donation, there's
I was gonna ask you, because you were talking about the process of creating music from engineering to recording, all that stuff. Do you have a set process for when, let's say you want to write a song right now? What would be the process? Do you create the beat first? Do you think of the lyrics first? How does that work?
It differs, man. Like I mean, for a while, I kind of stepped away from being an artist because, you know, I got really big in the DJing industry. And, like, I was producing a lot of music behind the scenes. And I was like, I kind of stepped away from writing. But now, like, if I want to make a song right now, I have to start with a beat. You know what I mean? Like, I have to think of the chord progression because I want to be able to write a melody to it. So I start from the chord progression, then get the drums in, you know, just a little rhythm, and then from there that'll inspire the words, you know. But for a long time, like, it's just, you know, you think of a really dope line or like you just experience something, and you go on your notes and you just write like a dope ass line, and then you start from there. It starts from like one bar, and then that could end up being the first line, or it could be bar 12 on your verse or your hook. It could be a hook, but it starts from like one line, or it could be a hat, or it could be a chord progression, or it could be a drum loop. You know what I'm saying? Something. Yeah.
Or it could be a hat that you just say "Universe." That's hype.
Oh yeah, exactly, man. No, you know what's so funny, man? Like, there's like, if you listen to Universe, please listen to Universe. It's available on all streaming platforms. But there's a kind of a story that I don't talk about on the album. That it's not really specific, but the inspiration is that it came from this Instagram picture from this graphic designer I saw. It was like this astronaut that was looking over at Earth from like his space station. He was lonely and he was just kind of overlooking it. It was just like a 15-second loop, and he was just overlooking Earth. And that's the story about behind Universe. It was inspired by this like this dude living on a space station, and he's overlooking Earth. Everyone he loves is there, but he can't get home. You know what I mean? And that's dope. And that's
you can't get home.
Yeah, but the idea with Universe is that it kind of developed. It was inspired by this story, and that's where, like, how the albums plotted it out. It was inspired by this story. But I mean, you know, it's kind of more metaphorical than anything. Yeah. But yeah, man. Inspiration comes from anything, bro. Like, my shit came from a fucking my boy's hat. You know what I'm saying? It came from a fucking Instagram animated GIF. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
It all came together, man.
Yep.
Yeah, because it sounds dope. And one of my favorite tracks is I got it written down right here. It was Chapters.
Ooh, okay.
With J.R. Aquino and Angel.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell me about what the process for that song was? Like, how did you decide to put those two specific people on the song?
Well, you know, they're great friends of mine. JR, we've been working for a long time now. That's my bro. And Angel is an artist that I've been working with, and I wanted to feature him on the song. But the actual song came from so me and my ex, we were hanging out, and, like, you know, got a little drunk, and then we started talking about, like, I wanted to pursue our, you know, to rekindle our relationship, and she basically shot that down. There's a little vocal skit in that song, where I talk about it, and it's not necessarily word for word, but that's how the conversation went. You know what I mean? I had to remake it for the song, but
that's dope, bro. When you can have an actual experience, like, motivate a song like that.
Yeah, and, like, you know, it's one of the saddest songs on the album, but, like,
bro, I'm gonna tell you, that's one of my favorites. Though, like,
it ended up being
like, your flow on it, bro. Your flow was like, I was like, okay,
you, man.
I gotta listen to this dude. You know what I mean? Because I'll be honest, like, before I knew your podcast before I knew you even made music.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I forgot how it was, man. It might have been maybe somebody tagged you, and then I went to your page, and then I saw that you had a podcast called Courtside Nosebleeds, so I started listening to that.
Wild.
and I got to know you that way before I started listening to your music.
Okay.
And I was like, oh shit,
cool.
yeah, but that's tight, bro. Like, you're good all around, from podcasting to actual making music, producing, like, all around.
Man. Thank you, man. It's crazy to hear everyone's favorite song from the album. Everyone has, like, a different favorite song, which is really good. But yeah, I heard a few people say Chapters, and it's actually, like, I was just checking the analytics. It's the most played song on Apple Music and Spotify. It's Chapters, which is interesting. Obviously, maybe it's because of JR. You know, shout out to JR. But also, it's just, I think it resonates with people because, you know, everyone's gone through heartbreak. You know. Yeah. But it's so funny how, like, her checking me in that bar, be like, you know, it's not gonna work out. What are you talking about? Like, you probably say that to every girl. I'm like, no, I don't. You know? But it was inspired off that, and, like, also, you know, with the composition of the song, like, you know, the line that I thought of was, like, just another chapter in my life. No point looking backwards in my life. Like a book, you know, there's different chapters, and you go from beginning to end, and, like, that song has, like, 3 different aspects. You know, you have the little house part in the beginning with the little, you know, drum loops, and with the little kick going. A little samba bass line, and then it goes to, like, this, you know, this JR's part is like the falling in love hook, and then the skit, and then the breaking up,
Yeah.
And then so it's like a book, you know what I mean? So
did they all write their own parts to the song?
no, I wrote everything.
Oh, you wrote everything?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tight.
I wrote everything on the album.
There you go, man.
Hey, except for like the features like Deja, Tej, wrote his part, Zelly wrote her part, and
shout out Tej and Zelly.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I'm a big proponent of the only way that you can, if you really want to make something the way you want it, just do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
100%.
And then bring in the best
100%.
people, bring in the best people that can execute that idea for you. You know?
Right.
So.
But you also, I'm a big believer that you attract the energy you put out. And if you put that kind of energy into the world where you're 100% passionate about what you do, you're gonna attract hardworking motherfuckers too. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So
I think that's one thing that I'm so thankful for is a lot of the people that I've met. You build relationships with them. These motherfuckers are the most talented people I know, man. And I'm just so blessed to be around just great energy all the time. And some of my closest friends I met through music, man. So
there you go, man. Well, speaking of collaboration, what was your favorite collaboration of last year, 2018?
In general, right?
Just in general, yeah.
Man, you know, I it's hard to think right now, but I'm a big fan of Smino and Sango's collaborations.
They
had Smino's one of my favorite artists right now. And
Chuck talks about him all the time.
Yeah,
I haven't heard Smino.
You gotta bump that, dog.
Yeah, Ray told me he was tight too.
Yo, he's on some next level shit.
Yeah.
He
reminded me of like you know that feeling when you heard Kendrick or Chance or Danny Brown.
He's a rapper, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But his background is in choir, so he sings everything out. And his flow is just next level, bro. But anyway, him and Sango had a couple records last year that was just crazy. I was like, damn, this is no one else is making this. Like Chlorine was one.
So I like Monte Booker too. That Cam Obi, with Cam Obi, no Cameron.
Yeah. He's from Vegas.
Yeah. That's the homie.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to Cam, bro, for real. But yeah, man, like definitely, they had a couple bangers, bro. Yeah, but I mean, there was so many great collaborations. I just can't think of anything right now. But yeah, for sure, though, they had a couple records. I was like, yo, this is next level, bro. Yeah.
I just want to make sure we good on. You good on time?
It is 8:32 right now.
I'm good.
Okay. Just making sure because he has a show after this. If you're listening.
Oh yeah, I know. I got to sing in an hour. So
I just want to make sure he's good.
I'm good.
You gotta make sure you drink that hot tea.
I love this conversation right now, man.
No, it's great, man.
I gotta ask you, what is a Bugatti spaceship?
Oh, so y'all seen Black Panther?
Yeah.
You know that scene at the end when they were in Oakland and they just built the whatever and like he landed his little spaceship there. One of the kids like in like a background voice because he goes, "Oh, is that a Bugatti spaceship?" And it was I died laughing in the theater because it's just like in the it's like I think the editor, the audio guy like panned it to the left or something and then like watch it on Black Panther on Netflix, bro.
I remember it. Yeah. I didn't know that's where you got it from, bro.
So
That's
some kid just goes, "Oh, is that a Bugatti spaceship?" And I see it's just like a funny So I'm always going for the laugh. Like I guess that's my inspiration of comedians for me is just like the artwork. Originally, Mikey had like done a rough of the picture, but the picture that he had chosen was me mugging the camera. And then I was like, no, I'm not really feeling this. And I looked through the pictures that he of everything from the shoot. Yeah. And I saw this one. It was like a candid of me smiling, and I was like, bro, this one, we should pick this one, which ended up being the artwork. We should pick this one because it's funny, bro. Like it's like if you saw that, like, oh, this dude's laughing. Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? So I'm always trying to go for the funniest shit, man. But anyway, that's where Bugatti spaceship came from.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, it's so random. Shout out to Power Mindset. You know what I'm saying?
I just think it's tight that a piece of art can inspire more art. You know what I mean? Like,
of course.
Because I'm pretty sure they didn't make it with the intentions of inspiring anybody to make a song called Bugatti Spaceship. But it happened. You know what I mean?
It's such a throwaway line. I'm sure. Yeah, they probably like the writer was like, oh, I think that would be funny to describe how their spaceship looks. You know what I'm saying? How their little jet looks. You know, the Quinjet, whatever. Yeah.
Have you heard that song? What's it called? The Moo.
Doja Cat.
Doja Cat.
She's so bad, bro. She's so sexy.
I think every guy's pretty much like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not to be sexist. Shout out to the Me Too. Shout out to
beautiful woman.
Shout out to my feminists. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to women empowerment. But she's sexy as fuck.
Though. Bro.
But anyway, it's a pretty creative song. Like
I want McDonald's now.
Doja Cat's actually dope though. Doja Cat's super dope.
Tight.
Things. There's a couple of joints. I can't remember the name of them off my head.
Old stuff. I remember hearing it.
Yeah, on SoundCloud.
Super dope.
On SoundCloud. That's where I heard her. It's like, yeah, I'm telling you, man, SoundCloud is everything, bro. You know, it's sad that it may not be as popular as it used to be, but I know for a fact I credit a lot of I want to say the last 4 or 5 years of new artists came from SoundCloud. Bro.
Do you think there's any competition for SoundCloud that's coming up? Because I'm not much into the audio engineering space, but do you think there's any platforms that are up and coming that are giving SoundCloud a run for its money?
Well, just the reason what makes SoundCloud special is the social media aspect of it, where it's kind of like it's a gathering of people. Yeah, that's what made it special. You know what I mean?
Right, because you can comment on it.
You can comment on it. You can message people and you know, all that shit. But it became kind of this thing where like every exactly, which is what made MySpace special, and no social media were able to duplicate it because of the music aspect of it. Right, like the music aspect of MySpace is what makes it lit. Same thing with SoundCloud. Like what makes it great is like there was all these next level artists. And like they were able to create shit that like you can't find that shit elsewhere, bro. Yeah, so. There you go. But maybe I mean I know Audio Mac is good. Shout out to DJ Boo. Shout out to Brian Zizek. You know what I'm saying? I know they're doing great things at Audio Mac, and I know they're probably.
Damn, I never even heard of that.
They're another platform, and they're free. They don't charge you like how SoundCloud charges creators to like monthly if you want like extra space. They're pretty cool. You know what I mean? But I mean I don't know anyone duplicating the magic that SoundCloud had, bro.
I think it was just beautiful because you can hit up artists who are somewhat big, and they'd usually reply back. And they give you like critiques. And it's like, whoa, you can never have that interaction with anything else.
I'm just waiting for Spotify to do that same thing that SoundCloud's got going on with that social media aspect of it.
Maybe they will.
Genius.
Because it's almost already happening with like, because one of the reasons I love Spotify, bro, is because like if you're an artist that uploads, you get your analytics right there. You can post like, oh, I had this many streams in this many countries. That's something that Apple Music wasn't doing, which already sold me on Spotify.
They're doing it now. But they have a beta.
So they have that incentive of caring for the artist and kind of like, you know what I mean? So I'm almost thinking like, what if they did do that? What if Apple did that? Yeah. What if you could go onto Apple Music and it could be like a social media platform?
Damn, yeah. You know? I'm sure like they're so caught up in just trying to make the music streaming, like publishing on point that they're probably going to bring it in later. But yeah, man, for real, like that's one thing that no other streaming site will be able to duplicate as a community that was built off SoundCloud. Like you said, like being able to reach out to a creator, like bro, just you know how easy it was to just contact a producer or DJ and just to book them. Yep.
Yes.
Like
so
straight up on there, bro.
That's
like,
how I booked my gal. I was like, yo, hit him up on SoundCloud.
Shout out to my gal. Yeah. You seen his video? Is like he was making beats on YouTube off just his,
all Def Digital or whatever, bro.
Like,
he's a genius.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of
sound designer, right? Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Sam Padrol?
So what's his name?
Sam Padrol. He does funk music.
He's really
bro. He's
good
really
too.
dope at doing funk music. And to be honest, like I'm a hardcore fan of his. Okay. But then one day I was editing a wedding video and I wanted to use one of his songs for the music video edit. Yeah. And I just sent him a message. Hey, bro, I'm editing a wedding video. Can I use your song? He goes, yeah. Just send me a link afterward. I'm like, oh.
Boom.
All right, cool. I mean, the dude's got like, a couple tens of thousands of followers. I didn't think he was going to respond, but that's just the whole aspect of it.
The community has you, bro. Like,
stability.
I've gotten a few like bookings off of it too because of that, and like, or just people who want to use your stuff for their YouTube page. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to Casey Neistat. I got a couple of songs on his shit too because of that, because of SoundCloud, bro.
You probably got on Gary V's too. I bet you did.
I could get on Gary.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Oh, I did. I don't know.
Nah, I feel.
I should. Shout out to Gary V, man. I know. See, that's the thing that the homie, you guys know. I don't know if you guys know Chris Punzalan. He's a YouTube creator too, and he's a producer out here in Las Vegas. Y'all should talk to him. But he has a pretty big following on YouTube now as like a in the music production community. Yeah. And like, one thing we were chopping it up about is just like there's this whole new space for like the YouTube vloggers. They use music and they get millions of views and shit, and that's another place to
perfect platform
to promotion. Yeah, honestly, the Casey Neistat boost that I got from SoundCloud or from his videos on my SoundCloud was crazy.
Yeah, you seen that spike?
It was dramatic. It was a dramatic spike, bro. I was just like, holy shit, I need to do this every day.
That's like Bitcoin prices.
I was just about to say that, bro.
We on the same way.
It looked like a Bitcoin spike.
It was crazy because like, I was like, yo, yo, that's why I sent him like beats, like folders of beats. I was like, yo, you gotta, you know what I'm saying, whatever you want, bro. It's
Yeah.
Well, but anyway, that's
he's
another level of
he's already
promotion.
getting millions of views on his videos. Someone's gonna look at what song was that, because he always credits it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's tight.
And it's crazy, man. So definitely be, you know, my advice for any music producer out there, any artist, is just to be creative with your promotion, with your marketing. You know what I mean? Just utilize everything. You know, everybody, literally everybody that's a creator, we're a community. You know what I mean? And if we can utilize each other, you know, definitely, you know.
And then one of my last two questions was: is there anything about you, Moose the Coolest, that people would assume that they shouldn't assume?
You want to clear up,
or
is that what you're saying?
No. Like, is there anything about you that people should assume or wouldn't assume? This was a good question in my head, bro. This was a good question in my head. No. I'm not saying anything bad. Like, but is there anything about you that people would assume that you think is wrong?
Well, okay. And, you know, maybe this is me overthinking it, but, you know, I'm kind of an introvert, you know what I mean? So in public places, I may not be the first to approach somebody or talk to somebody, you know what I mean? Or I may be quiet or whatever, but, you know, I'm definitely approachable, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
It's just the introvert in me. I'm not gonna be the first. I'm not gonna be like, you know,
giggity to meet everybody.
Yeah, I'm not that guy, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I think that's, you know, hopefully, you know, people don't have that perception, and if you do, you know what I mean, just chop it up with me, you know, hit me up, you know. I think I'm pretty approachable, you know what I'm saying? So.
Well, you walked in here. This was the first time I met you ever.
Yeah.
And it was pretty easy. Like,
well, so here's my thing, and I know a lot of introverts probably think this too. Like, I guess is that you think that, you know, or you make that claim or something, people ultimately assume that you're like this shy person or whatever. I think it's more of like in a more intimate setting, or with people you're comfortable with, or people you vibe, you know, your frequencies vibrate correctly. Like, it's comfortable, you know, it's cozy. But in like a club setting, or in like, you know what I mean, like, or that shit, I'm just like, I need to go home, bro. I don't want to be here. I just want to go home and get some tacos, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Because like, honestly, that's not me. Like, I'm not that. There's like 400 people here in this tight little room, and everyone's, you know, trying to pull that bad bitch, and like, and
everybody has an agenda.
Everybody has an agenda, and like the music is annoying, and I'm just like, and you can't even talk, you can't move, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm not that guy, you know. So I don't know. I'm the type of person, I like intimate settings, I like cozy settings, you know. I like one-on-one conversations. That's why I love podcasts, you know. Exactly. What I'm saying? I love that shit, and I love being around people, like-minded people. So so definitely that might be one perception of me, is that I might seem like an asshole. But feel free to talk to me, you know. That's what I'm trying to say. So, you know, if you want to chop it up with me, I'm more than welcome to. Please do, you know.
There you go, man. And last question, what are your goals for 2019?
Well, I have different goals for like different aspects of my career, but right now I'm in the process of expanding my, you know, like my DJ residencies. So that's my goal, is to be on the Las Vegas Boulevard Strip as a DJ.
There you go.
And another obviously is to create as much music as possible, and producing or, you know, my own music and or my music, and honestly the biggest goal that, you know, relates to all these other goals is that I want to be able to quit my 9-to-5, man. Like, I don't want to be able to I don't want to rely on a 9-to-5 gig no more.
That's truth.
I want my skill set to be able to pay my bills, and I never have to worry about money. And I want, you know what I'm saying, I'm not trying to be rich, I'm not trying to be famous. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, man. I'm honestly just concerned about making sure there's food on the table, my family's good, you know, my bills are paid, and I'm cozy, that I get, you know, that I have a place to make my music, got weed to smoke, you know what I mean, have my people's good, my friends good, my homies good, and create a platform for my city to be able to, you know what I'm saying, take back our city, you know what I'm saying? That's my goal for 2019 for sure, is just to, you know, do all that, everything I just said. So
good stuff, man.
Putting that in the universe. Wow,
it's
universe.
out there now.
Putting that in the universe.
Yes.
There you go.
I
was gonna say, bro, that's a good answer, man. Me and Chuck always talk about that too. We always talk about like what would be a good point. Like, well, a good point for any creative would be to quit your job and not have to worry about money, because that worry about money really damages your perception on life, period, right? Because okay, you can't put 110% into what you love because you're too worried about, well, I got to make money for this, for that, bills. You know what I mean? Like, if you just eliminate bills, I don't have to drive an expensive car. I don't have to, have the nicest things. I just want to be able to have time, because time is the most valuable thing.
And one thing I realized when I was younger, I was always, I talked about in the album, I was trying to be the GOAT. I was thinking of Grammy speeches, everybody. And we all have these dreams or whatever. But then I started, being more with industry people, and like, you realize that there's people here in the industry that has careers in the music industry or in any industry. Like, they're not the front face. They don't make millions of dollars.
You gotta be like the 5%.
Yeah, like, but the fact is, you can still be in this industry that you love and you're passionate about, and like and make a career out of it. Yeah, you don't have to be the front face. You don't got to be the famous dude. You just got to figure a way to utilize your skill set that you've been mastering your whole life, that you're passionate about. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that's my goal for this year, is just to for sure just be able to utilize this 10,000 hours that I put into this shit, and take it to the world, man, for real.
And I think with passion and dedication and hard work, bro, you will get it, because you're too talented to be working a 9 to 5, to be honest.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, I agree too. Damn. That's probably one of my flaws as a human, is like, whenever I'm not passionate about it, I don't give a fuck about it. And like, at my job or any job I've ever held, I'm always that like apathetic motherfucker. And I try to work hard, but
just gonna get by.
I'm just there to collect a check, and that's the absolute worst thing. That's the absolute worst thing you can do as a human. Yes, is when you're just somewhere you don't want to be for financial reason or for whatever reason you're there for, and that's the worst thing you can do for yourself.
And it's funny, because like, I always tell myself too, like, don't be somewhere that you can't give 100% to, right? But it's almost like a contradictory thing, because it's like, you also do need that money. Like, I'm not saying go in there and do half-ass your job. 100% go in there and do what you got to do, take care of business.
Yeah, learn.
But it's just that thing that kills you, bro. Where you're like, you're there and you see your time. Like, I'm not doing what I want to be doing here. Right.
So, but I don't want people to get impatient though. It's just, I want people. Like, you can't give that advice to everybody. Tell everybody, just quit your job, and no. There's a time. Be smart about it. There's a time and place for everyone, and there's a time and place for everyone that, like, where whatever your road takes you, and there's gonna be a time where you take that leap of faith, and the universe literally will tell you. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
So
came full circle, man. Woo! I think we hit the 2-hour mark, bro, to be honest.
Whoa, really?
I think we're at like an hour 20.
Oh, that's good. That's a good podcast length, yo.
Shit. Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah,
that was a good conversation.
If you're in your car right now, this is a great time to wind down. You know what I'm saying? Perfect. I hope you enjoy this podcast.
Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yo, make sure you subscribe to Morning Dinner, Courtside Nosebleeds, all that shit.
Actually, what I was gonna say, we're gonna put all your information down below: your Twitter, your Instagram.
Bam.
I don't know if you have a Twitter, but I just said Twitter.
Yeah.
And all your social media, your podcast, we'll link it down below. People can check it out.
At Moose the Coolest on everything.
There you go, man.
And what's the podcast? One more time.
Courtside Nosebleeds. Find it on Apple Music, Spotify, everything.
There we go.
You guys should see Chiquim and Chuck there next year.
And I'll see you guys. I will have next you guys on the podcast for sure.
2025.
I'm probably gonna be nervous as hell.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for having me. I wanted for anybody. I wanted to talk to you guys. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all. Also, I wanted to say that your guys' branding and everything is so lit. Your podcast, you have the best guests. You have great guests. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man.
All encompassing of any styles, putting platform for Vegas. Yeah. And y'all Instagram is so lit.
Dude, I don't know how this worked out, because like the thing is, like, so we're trying to do at least one episode a week, right? Yeah. At the very least, because we both get busy with freelance and all that stuff, and work, having a job, family, and all that stuff. But we had somebody scheduled for this week, and we weren't able to get him in. They by circumstances outside of our reach. But the day that they canceled on us, you hit us up. Hey, so when can I, what's a little bit of podcast? I was like, that was like it was like a match made in heaven. Like, I couldn't have it more perfect timing.
I was like, yo, let's do it in March, man. What y'all got time in March, bro? I appreciate y'all for having me, for real, because I'm a big fan of y'all pods.
Thank you so much,
man. Definitely. Like I said, we'll put everything down below. Hey, thank you for joining us, and thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next Morning Dinner.
Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator.
I sure am hungry.